Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for the fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is permitted by copyright statute and might otherwise be infringing non-profit education, personal use, tips to balance in the favor of fair use.
Sexual assault, excessive force, unreasonable seizure.
Leveling serious allegations, attorneys for two men who claim they were brutalized by 6 Rankin County deputies almost 5 months ago have now filed a $400 million lawsuit against the deputies and Sheriff Brian Bailey.
Because Brian Bailey should not be the sheriff of the Rankin County Sheriff's Department.
The lawyer says this incident may be one of the most egregious cases of police brutality in American history.
I've never seen anything like this. I don't understand why this occurred.
One of the men is 32-year-old Michael Jenkins, who was not only allegedly beaten and assaulted, but also one of the deputies shot him in the mouth.
His tongue was separate. It was holding on by a sliver when the bullet went through.
Jenkins' mom, Mary, says the bullet shattered the nerve in her son's left jaw, which has made it difficult for him to eat.
When he first came out of the hospital, I had to crush his medicine and give it to him in a syringe. I had to give him cream of chicken soup.
According to attorney Malik Shabazz, who filed the lawsuit, Michael Jenkins and 35-year-old Eddy Parker were both subjected to a 2-hour torture session. They say it happened at their Braxton home in rural Rankin County on January 24th. According to the 49-page lawsuit, deputies handcuffed, tased, beat, and waterboarded the men, forced them to strip and shower together, and even used a sex toy to attempt to sexually assault the men, all while hurling racial slurs.
We're calling them constantly referred to these men as monkeys. When they came in, they accused these young men of dating white women and selling drugs.
According to Shabazz, deputies didn't have warrants and they turned off their body cameras. Jenkins' family had a hard time finding out which hospital he was in after he was shot and wounded.
It appeared that Rankin County wanted him to bleed out and die so that there would not be any witnesses.
The struggle for justice and civil rights continue.
Mississippi was the last state to abolish slavery, and it's like it's still going on.
Rankin County residents are speaking out, voicing their concern about what they call a lack of leadership in their city. This comes after 6 Rankin County officers pleaded guilty to several federal and state charges for abusing 2 black men. Civil rights attorney Malik Shabazz says he's relieved to see the officers behind bars, but more must be done.
We all must be vigilant going into sentencing, and that we all must press for the maximum time behind bars. Rankin County does have control over Sheriff Bailey because they're financing the terrorism that is taking place under Sheriff Bailey's command.
Attorney Shabazz says there are many more police brutality cases to look into in Rankin County.
We need justice and need Sheriff Bailey out of office because there's corruption all through there. They need to start at the top and go down.
And they say it starts with acknowledgement and accountability.
They must denounce what has happened. We have yet to hear from them. And this is the problem with Rankin County.
Residents say they are tired of being victimized because of the color of their skin and that a thorough investigation needs to happen.
Remember, we had Emmett Till, you had Damien, you know what I'm saying? It just came out then, but they should go back and every record should be looked at.
I find it very ironic that the mainstream media now is speaking out on the Michael Jenkins, 32-year-old black man who was shot in the mouth, and his partner, 35-year-old Eddy Parker, who was also beat and tortured and tased by 6 Mississippi police, Rankin County. The news also told a lie that a neighbor called and complained about drug activity in the area where these brothers stayed at. A white neighbor really called and complained to Rankin County Deputy Brett McAlpin that two black men were staying with a white woman inside of a Braxton home, Braxton, Mississippi. Deputy Brett McAlpin told Christian Deadman about the situation. Now, this is deep. Why are deputies worried about two black men living with a white woman in Mississippi? This is 2023. This is not out of a movie. This is real life situation, what's going on and what happened. And what's going on in Mississippi is still racism, decapitation of our brother Rasheem Carter in Mississippi, Taylorville, Mississippi. Black people, stay your ass out of Taylorville, Mississippi. That is a sundown city. They killing black people in Taylorville, Mississippi. They killing black people all over Mississippi. And the cops are in on it. The cops in Taylorsville was in on the murder of our brother, Rasheem Carter. Now, fast forward 17 days later, after the Tyree Nicholas murder by 5 cops, 6 cops, the white cop get off, but the 5 black cops, they made sure to highlight those niggas in the news, didn't they? Every fucking day. But 17 days later, July 24th, 6white law enforcement in Mississippi bars their way inside of someone's house without a search warrant, starting the physical, sexual, psychological abuse on these two brothers. The officers also planted drugs. They stole surveillance from the house January 24th. Why are they doing this? They handcuffed these two brothers, poured milk, alcohol, chocolate, and syrup on their faces and forced both of these brothers to take a shower together. This is mild mistreatment. They was concealing the fact that they had poured all this liquid on these brothers, so they made these brothers take a shower together. Then they start tasing the brothers. Each deputy wanted to know who had the strongest voltage. You feel what I'm saying? Which one of these tasers that they had the most effective on the human anatomy. They repeatedly tased these brothers, then it get even deeper. See, the mainstream media wasn't speaking on this. These white cops, these white deputies, they use sex toys on the brothers. All because, I don't know if it's true, but the neighbor complained about 2 black men living with a white woman. So when this deputy, Christian Deadman, text the other officers, they was ready to use excessive force. They called themselves the Goon Squad. Brett McAlpin, Jeffrey Middleton, Christian Deadman, Hunter Edwards, Daniel Opedite, and Joshua Hatfield. Yeah, I put their names out there. Yes, I put their names out there. This is what racism is all about in this country. They want to kill black people, and we living in the time of campaign to kill black people. So these police feel they can get away with this type of behavior because they know the government is behind the killings, the assaults. You know, they know they behind the overcrowding of black people in the penitentiary. The cops know. And this should have been a hate crime. This should have been a hate crime. The officers plead guilty to a long list of federal charges. I just don't understand how the mainstream media wouldn't speak on this. They don't speak on this until August, July, the last part of July and August, when this happened at the beginning of this year. But keep in mind, it happened 17 days after Tyrese Nicholas was killed in Memphis, Tennessee by 5 white officers who beat him to death. I mean, 5 black officers. 5 black officers. 17 days later, the same thing happened. But nobody heard about this. I did 2 videos because I was trying to figure out why is the world was so silent on a 32-year-old black man named Michael Jenkins who was made to suck a gun, then shot in the mouth. Eddy Parker, 35 years old, was beaten and tased, waterboard. They waterboard brothers with milk, chocolate, alcohol. Pour this all on these brothers' faces. They told them to get the hell up out of Braxton, Mississippi. Get up out of Rankin County and go back to Jackson, Mississippi. You feel what I'm saying? Why the media withhold the fact that this happened? A lot of people say, well, you're a conspiracy theorist. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I just expose the conspiracies that are plotted against black people. I told you that every sector of the United States organizations, such as the police fraternal order, is infiltrated. The government of the United States is infiltrated. That's just the way it is, black family. The Ku Klux Klan, these racist groups have infiltrated positions in America to continue their oppression upon the black race. Y'all tell me what y'all think below. Leave comments below. Tell me what y'all think about this. Do the mainstream media withhold this information on purpose? This is some sick, perverted things that these 6 deputies done to these black men. They try to cover this up. It's a $400 million lawsuit lodged against Rankin County. Peace and black power.